I wanted to do while I had the boat upside down is to figure out the skeg on the bottom here, and then I had my 4-foot level that I put on the boat, and I wanted to figure out where along the hull it was flat, so I put the 4-foot square up in here, and then I could see where the arc started going across, and so I marked that point on the hull, and then I set my straight edge in here with a weight on it to hold that position, and then I have another, let me go down here, I have another board setting up in here to give me this angle because there's a little bit of a wedge in here. So then it was take the old adjustable angle and figure out these angles and transfer it over to a piece of cardboard, and there was a straight edge. Let me get back up here again. There was a straight edge in here, and there was a little straight section in here, so that angle was easy to duplicate. But where it starts going into the curve, I just brought out my little magic, I don't know what the hell they call these things, magic fingers, and just slowly, am I in line? Yeah. Slowly push it down, and then watch the bar to be certain that it's even with the bottom of this. So now I got that first angle that I can transfer over to my cardboard, and then mark off that length on the hull and on the cardboard, and then just keep transferring it over until I got my arc. And then it was the old pencil on the floor trick of just gliding the pencil along on the side until I got a good solid line in here, and I'm dropping down. I had enough height that I could keep trimming until I got down. So I'm going to transfer this over a piece of wood. Any little gaps, don't get anal on it because you're going to be filling it up with easy fillet anyway, and I'm probably going to make this like 3 layers of scrap plywood wide, so that'll give me 3/4 of an inch of a skeg, and I will attach it after I have the glass on the bottom. It makes more sense because I've done it before where there's been a projection on the bottom of the hull, and you try to get the glass cover on the bottom to fit it, and it's a nightmare. So I'll put on the glass, and then I'll put this on after I get that done. Well, I have the final piece cut and shaped, and then up here on the front, right there is my end of my flat start of my tangent, so I'll probably whack that off there, and then maybe continue it on with some easy fillet and shape it into a little pyramid to somewhere behind the daggerboard trunk. I don't like to have, I've seen some boats where they have the daggerboard trunk, and then the keel, the little skeg will come up a little bit and rise, and I've seen problems with people putting them on their trailers. They'll get hung up on one of the rollers or something, and then they got to go back and lift it up and then pull it in. So I usually like to have a nice taper in so that it slides up on things and doesn't grab. Well, I've decided to go with 1 inch, so I've got 4 pieces cut out. I'll shape them, the final shape, once I get it on the boat and everything is epoxied in place. The 2 center ones are a little bit shorter, but that's fine because I'll probably draw a straight line along the edge and heavily rasp it down to that line to get everything lined up again. So now I just need to epoxy everything together. I'll just use laminating epoxy. Okay, I've got my pieces laminated up, and when you're laminating plywood, basically you just take your toothbrush, and I was making up 3/4 ounce mixes, 1/2 ounce of A, 1/4 ounce of B, and it took me 2 of them, but that's okay because they give me time to work between coats. But just butter up both sides really good. Coat one side, then coat the other side. That's going to match it. Go back to the first side, give it another coat, and then to the second one. And usually two coats like that, passes with the toothbrush, will give on plenty of epoxy. The first pass actually coats it and applies enough on it that it soaks into the wood, the surface. And so when you come back with the second butter coat, then it's setting more up on the surface and not going to get sucked into the dry plywood face. So then set it up. On this one, I've got it clamped to my old beat up workbench here because I know this table here is straight, so you have something to, so it's not going to wow on you. And then put some clamps on it, and if you think you're going to have, like right here, I've got a little piece of wood on either side with some visqueen over it so it's not going to soak in or stick my blocks to the to what I'm trying to line up. Those little tricks help. I was thinking of bringing out the wire pin feed gun and shooting some in, but what the hell, by the time I get it out and the air pumped up, I'm done with doing it the old traditional clamp way. So, well, I've got the keel strip out of the clamps. I got it all laminated up. It's got some junk around the edges I got to clean up, but it's a reasonable fit, and it gives me some gaps in here I can use to for Gel Magic first to apply it, and then come back with the Easy Fillet fairing compound. I'm going to relieve the edges here a little bit and put a bit of a V so I get some more compound in there. But now I'm going to take my rasp and true it up and do some preliminary stuff on it before it's part of the hull. It makes it a little bit more difficult, so let me go do some cleanup. I've got it shaped, and I've got a screw back here on the, I can see my finger back here on the end holding it in place. It's maybe a little mark on the inside I'll have to touch up, but I got it shaped again, and I've got a center line string here. I re-pulled and then taped to the very bow top edge as it goes over. I got it lined along there, taped in place to give me a reference point. So now that I know it's trued up, I'll make some marks along the side in order to locate where it's going to be. Well, I have the Gel Magic on the, made a big gob of Gel Magic put on the bottom of the keel strip here, and I've got it lined up, centered, screwed down, but I had to put in a screw on top and a string to go over the side on the working platform, because you want to use your adjustable angle gauge and find a good spot that you know is going to be the same on each side, and the end of this big one panel here makes a good flat choice. And now I'm squared up, and I'll let this cure overnight. Perfect. Well, I've got the keel strip in place. Now I'm going with the Gel Magic yesterday, and it's cured. So now I'm coming along with some Easy Fillet to fill in the gaps underneath in this first pass. Just kind of stick the bag in there and get it down into the groove. Now it's time to come along, clean up the mess a little bit. I can feel the bag starting to get warm in my hands. So when you feel that, try to get as much out of the bag and in a position as possible. That'll slow the curing time down. Some of the stuff I put on top I'm just using to even out the bottom.